Welcome to today's lesson. Still dealing with the equations, and just to remind ourselves, the previous lesson we've just handled the equation involving fractions. So we move on and we now look at equations with brackets. So we have the equations with brackets. What we need to understand when we are dealing with a bracket simply means we multiply the numbers that are outside the bracket with the number inside the bracket. So for instance, if you have a number like 9 into 5. 9 into 5. This is brackets that we have, but this is not an equation. It is simply an expression. So when we have 9 times 5, 9 into 5, it simply means the same as 9 multiplied by 5. So we are simply saying that when we have brackets simply means that we are going to multiply the numbers that are inside, or whatever is inside the bracket, with what is outside the brackets. So dealing with the equations, let us look at how do we deal with equations that have brackets. So examples. First, before we deal with the equation, let us look at how do we solve expressions that are involving brackets. So in this case, if you have such like an expression that has a brackets in them, we need to expand the given expression first. So in expanding this expression, we started by saying that brackets means we multiply the contents that are inside the bracket with whatever is outside the bracket. So in this case, we have x plus 3 inside the bracket and we have 4 outside the bracket. So we are going to multiply whatever is outside the bracket with everything that is inside this given bracket. So in expanding this expression, it simply means that we have 4 multiplied by x, then plus the same 4 multiplied by 3. Whatever is outside the bracket with everything inside the bracket. So we'll multiply with x, multiply with 3. So in that case, we have 4 multiplied by x gives us 4x, and 4 multiplied by 3 gives us 12. So when we expand this given expression, 4 into x plus 3 gives us 4x plus 12. So another example that we have could be 5 into 2b plus 3. We need to expand the given expression. When we are expanding, we say that the number that is outside the bracket will multiply each and every content that is inside the bracket. So this means that I have 5 multiplied by 2b, the same 5 should multiply the 3. So that I have 5 multiplied by 2b plus 5 multiplied by 3. 5 multiplied by 2b, we multiply the numbers, in this case 5 times 2 is 10. Then we have times b will give us 10b. Then plus 5 times 3 gives us 15. So when we expand, 5 into 2b plus 3 should give us 10b plus 15. So that is the expansion of this given expression. Another example maybe that requires us to expand, we have 3 into 8 minus 3y. So still, whether it is a minus or it is a subtraction or an addition, we are still following the same procedure, so that the number that is outside the bracket should multiply everything that is inside the bracket. So that this will be 3 multiplied by 8 minus 3 multiplied by 3y. When we multiply, 3 times 8 gives us 24. then 3 times 3y will give us minus 9y. So that the expanded expression for 3 into 8 minus 3y is 24 minus 9y. In connection to expansion of this given expression, it is bringing us to a point whereby after expanding the equations, you can come up with various terms in that given equation that may be like terms, and you need to simplify. So we need to ask ourselves, in an equation or in an expression, what do we mean by like terms? And when we are dealing with like terms, we are simply looking at the terms that are the same in terms of pronumerals that are on those given digits. For instance, when we have 2x and we have a 4x, 2x and 4x, they have the same pronumeral, which is x in this case. 2x and 4x, we say they will be like terms. But when we are having different pronumerals on the numbers, for instance, we have 2x and the other number is 4y. This is x and y. So we discover that we have different pronumerals. When the pronumerals are different, then these ones are unlike terms. So having this, then it means that when we are simplifying expressions or given equations, you need to identify where do you have like terms and where do you have unlike terms. When you have like terms, they are either added or subtracted to be simplified. But when the terms are unlike, you don't add or subtract the given terms. So in this case, if you need to simplify this, since they are like terms, it is possible to add 2x plus 4x to get 6x. But this is 2x plus 4y. They are not like terms. They are unlike terms. When they are unlike terms, the equation is not simplified. So we want to look at a situation whereby we are going to simplify the like terms. So let us look at some few examples that are involving us to simplify by collecting the like terms. For instance, we have this equation, 3a plus a plus 2, and we are asked to simplify. So we need to identify which are the like terms in our given expression. So we get that 3a and a have the same pronumeral. So since they have the same pronumeral, then these are like terms. But 2 is unlike terms to the 3a and a because the pronumeral 2 does not have a pronumeral on it, so it becomes an unlike term. So when simplifying, we simplify by simply adding the coefficients. Coefficients are the digits that are appearing before the pronumeral. So in this case, for instance, 3a, our coefficient is 3. So this is the coefficient of this given number. In our a, if you only have a letter that has been written, then it means the number that is before the letter is 1. So the coefficient in this case, the a, our coefficient is 1. So when we are adding numbers that have pronumerals, we are simply adding the coefficients of those given numbers, then we write the pronumeral after the digit that has been obtained. So we are simplifying and we have 3a plus a, and we are saying that the coefficient of a in this case is 1. So we simply have 3 plus 1, and 3 plus 1 is 4. Then we remember that they had a pronumeral, so it means that the solution will be 4a. But this is plus 2. The expression had a plus 2. So it means that our expression, if simplified, will give us 4a plus 2. We are not adding the 2 because 2 is unlike term to 4a. So we will have 4a plus 2 as our equation, our simplified expression. Another equation that requires us to simplify, we have 5x plus 3 plus x. So that is an expression that we need to collect the like terms. In this case, our like terms are 5x and x. So those are the like terms we have. So it means we will have 5x plus x plus 3. 5x plus x, we are simply having 5 plus 1, and 5 plus 1 gives us 6. So that means 5x plus x will give us 6x, then plus 3. So 3 is not like term to 6x. So our equation, our expression remains as 6x plus 3. So after our knowledge on how we simplify the equations that have brackets, and how we expand the expressions with brackets, and how we collect the like terms, we can now go ahead and simplify or solve the equations by expanding the brackets. So we are given an equation that has a bracket in it, and we need to expand and give the solution to the given equation. So an example, we have the following equation. We have these questions to solve. We are required to solve the equations by expanding the brackets. So we try and solve these equations. The first equation we have is 2 into 10 plus s is equal to 32. So we have 2 into 10 plus s is equal to 32. The question is requiring us to expand the brackets. So the first task that we have is expanding this given bracket. So as we are expanding the bracket, we keep in mind that the number that is outside the bracket will multiply all the contents inside the bracket. So that we have 2 multiplying 10, and the same 2 should multiply s in that given bracket. So this will bring us to 2 times 10 plus 2 times s should be equal to 32. 2 times 10 is 20, then plus 2 times s gives us 2s, which will give us 32. The next step after forming this equation, we need to remain with 2s on this side. So our step will be subtracting 20 on both sides, so that we have 20 minus 20 plus 2s is equal to 32 minus 20. So subtracting 20 on both sides, 20 minus 20 is 0. We are left with 2s on the left hand side. So we have 2s will be equal to, on the right hand side, 32 minus or subtract 20, we get 12. So when we subtract 20 from 32, we are getting 12. For us to get the value of s, we divide by 2 on both sides. So divide by 2 on the left hand side, divide by 2 on the right hand side, so that the 2 and 2 cancels out, and you are left with s is equal to 12 divided by 2 gives us 6. So the value of our pronumeral, which in this case is s, is equal to 6. Just to verify, and find out if our solution is correct. We substitute the value of s in the original equation for us to find out if whatever we have is true or not. So substituting s in our equation, we have 2 into 10 plus s, and our value for s in this case is 6. So this is 10 plus 6. I need to find out if this expression on the left-hand side will give me 32, which is on the right-hand side. So we have the option of expanding the brackets so that we have 2 times 10, 2 times 10, then plus 2 times 6. So multiplying whatever is outside the bracket with everything inside the bracket, so that 2 times 10 gives us 20, and 2 times 6 gives us 12. 20 plus 12 will give us 32. So we find that we have the same value with what is on the right hand side. So it is true that when our value for s in our equation is 6, then the expression on the left hand side will give us 32. Another example that requires us to expand the brackets is this. We have 8 into 4 plus q is equal to 40. We are required to expand the brackets. So expanding the brackets means whatever is outside the bracket is going to multiply everything inside the bracket. So we have 8 times 4 plus 8 times q should be equal to 40. When we multiply this, then we have 8 multiplied by 4 gives us 32, and 8 times q will give us 8q, so that this is equal to 40. For us to solve and get the value of our pronumeral, then we have minus 32 on both sides. So minus 32 on both sides, so that we'll have 32 subtract 32 plus 8q will be equal to 40 subtract 32. So that 32 minus 32 gives us a 0, and we are left with 8q will be equal to 40 minus 32 gives us 8. For us to get the value of q, we divide both sides by 8, divide by 8, so that we have the value of q is 1. So, just to confirm that it is true our value for q is 1, we substitute the value that we've obtained in the original equation and find out what I have on the left-hand side. If I substitute q, which is 1, will it give me the value that I'm expecting, which is 40? So let us find out by substitution of q by 1. So where I have q, we are substituting it with 1, so that we will have 8 into 4 plus, this is plus q, and our value for q we have is 1. So we have 8 into 4 plus 1. We want to find out if it is going to give us 40 or not. So if I have brackets, whatever is outside the bracket should multiply everything inside the bracket, so that I have 8 times 4 plus 8 multiplied by 1. 8 multiplied by 4 gives us 32, and 8 multiplied by 1 gives us 8. So 32 plus 8 is simply 40, which means that I've gotten the value that we've been given on the right hand side. So that makes my left hand expression to be equal to the value that we've been given on the right hand side. So it simply means that when Q is 1, then the left hand expression is going to give us a 40 as the value of that given expression. Example 3, we have 30 is equal to 6 into 5r minus 10. 30 is equal to 6 into 5r minus 10. When we have such like an equation, we can swap whatever is on the right-hand side of the equation with what is on the left-hand side of the equation. So that we have 6 into 5r minus 10 will be equal to 30. We've swapped, we've interchanged whatever is on the right-hand side with what is on the left-hand side. Then expand the given brackets that we have. So that 6 will multiply 5r, then minus 6 multiplied by 10 should give us 30. So in this case, 6 multiplied by 5r gives us 30r, then minus 6 multiplied by 10 gives us 60. Will be equal to 30. So we need to get the value of r. The next step will be adding 60 on both sides, so that we have 30r minus 60 plus 60 will be equal to 30 plus 60. So we are adding 60 on both sides. So negative 60 plus 60 gives us a 0. So that on the left-hand side, we are left with 30r. So this is 30r will be equal to the right-hand side. We have 30 plus 60, and 30 plus 60 gives us 90. So for us to obtain the value of r, we simply divide by 30 on both sides. So that I have on the left-hand side divide by 30, on the right-hand side divide by 30. 30 and 30 will cancel out. So that 0 and 0 on the right-hand side cancels out. 3 into 3 once. 3 into 9 is 3 times. So the value of r in this given equation is 3. Just to confirm, if our value for r is 3, if we are going to get 30 in this expression. So we are having the expression we have is 6 into 5r minus 10. I want to substitute the value of r as 3 and find out if this will give us 30 as our answer. So r being 3, I'm substituting where I have r, I'm substituting it with 3. So that we will have 6 into 5 multiplied by 3, which was the value of our r, minus 10. We want to find out, will this expression give us 30 or not? So that 5 times 3 is 15 minus 10, then into multiplied by 6. So this means that I multiply 6 by whatever is inside the bracket, so that we have 6 multiplied by 15 minus 10. No, 10 times 6. 6 multiplied by 15 gives us 90. Then 10 multiplied by 6 gives us 60. So that 90 minus 60 will give us 30. And we confirm that 30 is the value that we have on the other side of the equation. So it is true, when our value for r is equal to 3, then 6 into 5r minus 10 will give us 30 as the solution of that given equation. We notice that sometimes people make a mistake when they are expanding the brackets. And the common mistake that is usually made is that at times people tend to multiply the digit outside the bracket by the first number only and forget the second number, a mistake that we had almost committed in our calculation, so that you find that a person has just worked out 6 times 5r minus 10. This is a mistake because we are saying whatever we have outside the bracket should multiply everything inside the bracket. So the 6 should multiply 5r, and at the same time you should multiply the 6 by 10. If you avoid multiplying the 6 by the second number, then you are going to obtain an error. You are going to get an answer that is not correct. So always make sure that whatever is outside the bracket is going to multiply everything inside the bracket. Another question for us to find the solution to, we are asked to solve So we are asked to solve the equations that we are going to write by first expanding the brackets. Then after expanding the brackets, we collect the like terms, then get the solution to the given equation. So an example we have is 5 into 4s plus 4 is equal to 4s plus 4, then plus 4s will be equal to 44. So that is the equation we have. The first condition is we expand the brackets. So expanding the brackets, we have 5 multiplying everything inside the bracket, so that we have 5 times 4s plus 5 times 4. Then the solution I get, we add 4s, will be equal to 44. So expanding this, 5 times 4s gives us 20s, plus 5 times 4 is 20. Then plus 4s is equal to 44. Collecting the like terms, identify what are our like terms in this given equation, and we get that the like terms, we have 20s and 4s, then 20 and 44 are also like terms. So when we are collecting the like terms, we will have 20s plus 4s, then this is plus 20. When it crosses the equal sign to the other side of the equation, it becomes a minus 20. So it will be equal to 44 minus 20. So 20s plus 4s gives us 24s, will be equal to 44 minus 20. 44 minus 20 is 24. So to get the value of s, then we have 24s is equal to 24. Then divide both sides by 24, so that divide by 24, divide by 24. The value of s will be 1 in that equation. So first, by expanding, we start by expanding, and expanding this 5 will multiply everything inside the bracket, so that we have 5 times 4s and 5 times 4. Then collecting like terms, we are saying that the pronumerals on the 20 is s, pronumeral on 4 is s. So the numbers with the same pronumerals are like terms. So 20s and 4s are like terms. Then 20 and 44 are also like terms. So we are collecting the like terms, so that 20s plus 4s gives us 24s. When 20 crosses to the other side of the equal sign, becomes a negative, so that we have 44 minus 20 to get 24. So the value of s in this given equation is simply 1. We want to confirming our answer. To find out if our value for s is 1, will my left hand side give me the value that is there on the right hand side? So let us confirm that s is 1. So s being 1, it means that we have 5 into 4 multiplied by 1 plus 4, then plus 4 multiplied by 1. So that 4 times 1 is 4, plus 4 multiplied by 5, then plus 4 times 1 is 4. So multiplication means that the number that is outside the bracket should multiply all the contents inside the bracket. So I have 5 times 4 plus 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. So we'll have 20 plus 20. Then remember we have plus 4 plus 4. 20 plus 20 is 40. Then plus 4, which gives us 44. So we notice that when our value for s is 1, then the left hand side will be equal to 44 as the solution to whatever is the expression on the left hand side. Second example on the same. So we have 4q plus 6 into 4q minus 4 is equal to 60. So we need to get the value of q by first expanding the brackets. Expanding the bracket, 6 into 4 plus 4q minus 4, we are having 6 multiplied by 4q, then minus 6 times 4, then plus 4q will be equal to 60. So that we are having 6 times 4q gives us 24q. Then 6 times 4 gives us 24. Then plus 4q will be equal to 60. So collecting the like terms. So when we are collecting the like terms, then it means 4q and 24q are like, then 24 and 60 are like terms. When 24 being a negative crosses the equal sign, it becomes a positive. So that we have 4q plus 24q will be equal to 60 plus 24. 4q plus 24q gives us 26q is equal to 60 plus 24 gives us 84. So if we need to get the value of q in this equation, then divide both sides by 26. So divide the left hand by 26, the right hand side by 26, so that q will be obtained as 84 divided by 26, then we have 2 into 26, 13, 2 into 84, that is 42. So 42 over 13, we don't have any other common number that can simplify. So it gives us an improper fraction. We can solve this into a mixed fraction so that 32 into 42 is 3 times because of 39, and you are left with 3 out of 13. So as an improper fraction, we can have 3 and 3 out of 13 as the solution. Let us confirm if whatever we are having is workable or not. Okay, 4q plus 24q gives us 28q and not 26. So that we have 4q plus 24q is 28q will be equal to 60 plus 24, which is 84. So divide by 28, divide by 28, so that our value for q will be, what is this, 7 into 28, we have 4, 7 into 84, that is 1, 2, then 4 into 4, 1, 4 into 12, we have 3. So the value of q in this case is 3. So having 3 as our value for q, we want to substitute in the original equation and confirm if our working is right or not. So we have q as 3. So if q is 3, so we have 4 times 3 plus 6 into 4 times 3 minus 4 is equal to 60. So this means that this is 12 plus 6 into 12 minus 4 is equal to 60. So this will mean that 6 times 12 is 72 minus 6 times 4, that is 24, plus 12. We want to find out if it will be equal to 60. 72 plus 12 is 84 minus 24. 84 minus 24 will give us 60. So we notice that if our value for q is equal to 3, then the equation or the expression on the right hand side will be equal to value of 60, which is the value on our right hand side. So our value for q is 3. Our value for q being 3, then it means that the equation is correct. After verification process, we discovered that we are having the value of q should be 3 for the left hand side to be equal to 60. So we have 3 into r plus 4 plus 2r plus 40 is equal to 2. We need to simplify the expression by expanding the brackets, collecting the like terms, then get the solution to the pronumeral, which in this case is r. So expanding the brackets, we have 3 times r. 3 times r will give us 3r. 3 multiplied by 4 will give us 12. Then plus 2r plus 40 is equal to 2. So what are like terms in this equation? The like terms, we have 3r and 2r. Those are like terms. Then the other group of like terms, we have 12, 40, and 2. those are the other group of like terms. So collecting the like terms, we have 3r plus 2r will be equal to 2. 40 is positive. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes a negative. So we have minus 40. 12 is also positive. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes a negative, so that we have minus 12. So 3r plus 2r, the coefficients are 3 and 2, so 3 plus 2 is 5. So that gives us 5r will be equal to 2 subtract 40 gives us negative 38. So we have negative 38 minus 12. Negative 38, when we subtract 12, we get 50. Negative. So we have negative 50. So to get the value of r, divide both sides by 5. Divide by 5, so that our value for r will be negative 50 divided by 5. This is a negative number divided by a positive number. It gives us a negative 10. So we have negative 50 divided by negative 5 gives us negative 10 as the value of r. Let us substitute in the original equation and find out, will we get the solution that we have on the right hand side if I have negative 10 as the number, the value for r in my equation? So we are having negative 10. I'm substituting so that we have 3 into negative 10 plus 4, then plus 2r. 2r means 2 times negative 10 plus 40. We are finding out if it will give us negative 2. So this means that 3 times negative 10 gives us negative 30. 3 times 4 gives us 12. So I have negative 30 plus 12. Then 2 times negative 10 will give us a negative 20. Then plus 40. So that negative 30 plus 12 will give us negative 18. Then minus 20 plus 40. Negative 18 minus 20 will give us negative 38, then plus 40. Negative 38 plus 40 is simply the same as 40 minus 38, and 40 minus 38 is 2. So we find that we have the value that we had on the right hand side. So it means that in this equation, our value for r is negative 10. So another equation that we need to solve, expand, collect the like terms, and solve for the value of our pronumeral is 4 into p minus 3, then plus p is equal to negative 32. So this means that I multiply 4 with whatever is inside the bracket, so that I have 4 times p is 4p, then 4 times 3 gives us 12, so minus 12. Then plus p will be equal to negative 32. Our like terms, 4p and p are like terms, then 12 and negative 32. So we collect the like terms so that I have 4p plus p will be equal to negative 32. This is negative 12. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes plus 12. So negative 32 plus 12 gives us negative 20. 4p plus p gives us 5p. To get the value of p, divide here by 5, divide by 5, so that the value of p is equal to negative 4. So our value for p is negative 4. Let us confirm if the left-hand side, that is 4 into p minus 3 plus p, will give us negative 32 on the right-hand side. So that we have 4 into negative 4 minus 3 plus negative 4. So we need to find out, will this expression, if expanded, give me negative 32? So this means that 4 times negative 4 gives us negative 16. 4 times negative 3 gives us negative 12. Then plus minus simply means this is minus 4. So we have negative 16 minus 12. Negative 16 minus 12 gives us negative 28. Then minus 4. Negative 28 minus 4 will give us negative 32. So this negative 32 is what we have on the right hand side of the equation. So it means that for this equation to be true, then the value of p is negative 4. So far, the equations that we've solved are ones that have only one bracket in it. But there is possibility that you can meet equations that have multiple brackets and you need to expand the brackets and solve the given equation. So let us look at an example which is involving multiple brackets in the equation that needs to be solved. So the question is, solve the following equations. We are solving the following equations by finding the values of their pronumerals in each case. So we have 6 into 2j minus 4, then plus 4 into 4j minus 3 is equal to 20. So we have those brackets that we need to expand, collect the like terms, and simplify or solve the given equation. So when we have a number outside the bracket, we are simply having to multiply the number outside the bracket with the contents that are inside the given bracket. So in this case, we have 6 into 2j minus 4. So this means that I multiply the 6 which is outside the bracket with each and every content that is inside that given bracket. So we have 6 times 2j. 6 times 2j should give us 12j. Then next, 6 times 4. So 6 times 2j and 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. So this is minus 24. Then plus 4 times 4j. Then 4 times negative 3. So that we have 4 times 4j will give us 16j. Then 4 times negative 3 will give us minus 12 to give us 20. So solving this, we need to collect the like terms. So our like terms, we have 12j and 16. So 12j plus 16j will be equal to 20. 24 is negative. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes a positive. So plus 24. Then we have minus 12 as another like term. When minus 12 crosses the equal sign, it becomes a plus 12. So that 12j plus 16j gives us 18j will be equal to 20 plus 24. We have 44. Then 44 plus 12. 44 plus 12 gives us 56. So to get the value of j, divide by 18. Divide by 18 on both sides. So that the value of j will be obtained as 2, this should not be 18 but 28. 12 plus 16 is not 18, we have 28. So a problem with our addition, so that 12 plus 16 we have 28. So 56 divided by 28, 56, 28 into 28 once, 28 into 56 twice, so that j is equal to 2. So our value for j is 2. So what do we mean? When we are having multiple brackets, the same steps are just followed. The number that is outside the bracket should multiply each and every digit or number and pronumeral inside the bracket. So you shouldn't multiply only one of them. You should ensure that you are multiplying all the numbers inside or all the pronumerals inside the bracket with whatever is outside the bracket for you to get the solution of the given equation. So the solution to our equation, the value of our known, which is j, is simply 2. Next we have 3 into 4a. 3 into 4a plus 5. Then plus 5 into 1 plus 3a. 1 plus 3a is equal to 47. So what do? We simplify we expand each and every bracket on its own, so that the number that is outside the bracket should multiply whatever is inside the bracket. We have 3 times 4a, that is 12a. 3 times 5 should give us 15. So we are saying the 3 is multiplying 4a. The same 3 is supposed to multiply 5. Then plus 5 is supposed to multiply 1. Then the same 5 should multiply 3a. So that we have 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. 5 multiplied by 3a gives us 15a. Will give us 47. Collecting the like terms, we have 12a plus 15a will be equal to 47. This is plus 15. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes minus 15. This is plus 5. When it crosses the equal sign, it becomes minus 5. So that 12a plus 15a will give us 27a is equal to 47 minus 15. We are having 32, and 32 minus 5 will give us 27. So the value of a will be obtained by divide by 27 on the left hand side, on the right hand side divide by 27. So our value for a is simply 1. So the value for a in that equation is 1. Maybe the last example involving the brackets, we have 2 into 3x plus 4 plus 5 into 6x plus 7, then plus 8 into 9x plus 10 is equal to 123. It is equal to 123. So let us solve. We have multiple brackets, so each bracket is expanded on its own, so that 2 times 3x, then 2 times 4. 2 times 3x will give us 6x, 2 times 4 will give us 8, then plus 5 times 6x is 30. This is 5 times 6x, then 5 times 7, and 5 times 7 is 35. Then next we have 8 times 9x. 8 times 9x is 72x. Then 8 times 10 is 80, will be equal to 123. So having that, we are collecting the like terms, so that this is 6x plus 72x. This should be 30x. No, plus 30x will be equal to 123. This is plus 8. When plus 8 crosses to the other side of the equation, will be minus 8. This is plus 35. When it crosses to the other side of the equation, will be minus 35. Then this is plus 80. When it crosses to the other side, it will be minus 80. So in solving this, 6x plus 72x gives us 78x plus 30x will be equal to 123 minus 8. 123 minus 8 will give us 115. Then minus 35 minus 80. So 78x plus 30x gives us 108x will be equal to 115 minus 35. So 115 minus 35, we have 0. 11 minus 5 is 11 minus 3 is 8. So we have 115 minus 35 gives us 80. So 80 minus 80. Then on the left hand side we have 108x is equal to 80 minus 80, which is 0. So the value of x will be obtained by dividing by 108. Divide by 108 on both sides, and when we divide by 108 on both sides, then our value for x is 0. 0 divided by any number is simply 0. So the value of x in this given equation is 0 for our equation to be true. So that is the multiplication of numbers involving the brackets, or solution of equations that has brackets. Whenever you need to simplify an equation that involves brackets, then it means the number that is outside the bracket should multiply each and everything inside the bracket. Once you multiply whatever is inside the bracket, in case you have multiple brackets, or in case you have like terms after the multiplication or after the expansion of the given brackets, you discover that you have like terms. What do we mean by like terms? It simply means the numbers that have the same pronumerals on them, or they are of similar kind, in that, For instance, here we have 6x, we have 30x, we have 72x. So these are the like terms in that given equation. Then here we have 8, 35, we have 80. Those are also like terms because they are similar in letters that are after the numbers, or they all do not have the letters after them. So when you have the same pronumerals after the numbers, then it means they are like terms. So after you've expanded the brackets, you need to collect the like terms and follow the procedure, the systematic procedures that we've learned in solving equations for us to get the correct values of the given pronumerals. So I'm hoping that in case you are given any problem that has brackets in it, you will be in a position to get to simplify or expand the given bracket and get the solution to the equation. With that, can we just get to have some more questions that will help us for our own benefit? You can find the questions from the books and work them out using the procedures that we've learned. Thank you.